It's funny because so many people get held up wondering what it is that their purpose in life is. It can drive people crazy. What's my purpose? How do I find my passion? I mean, there's literally entire seminars and courses and books written on 7 steps to finding your purpose. And humans, we're the only creatures that stress ourselves out over trying to define what our nature is. What is our purpose? What is it that we're meant to do? And if you take a look at all other life forms, nothing else does it. Animals don't do that. They're living their nature. They're living their purpose. They don't question it. They're just living their nature. But humans, we stress ourselves out of it. We stress ourselves out. And some people can spend their whole lives, it can drive them crazy, wondering, is it a business? Maybe was I meant to be like a basket weaver or a basketball player or whatever? How do I know, when I found my purpose? And it's interesting because at one point in our life, we are living our purpose and we're not questioning it. The first 9 months of our lives, we're inside of our mother. We're growing. And at that moment, we're living our purpose. We're not thinking about anything. Our nature is happening. It's manifesting right before us. And then we come out into the world and our mother holds us and she looks at this beautiful creation that she's made and from that very moment forward, society begins to edge that beauty out of us, begins to tell us what we lack, what it is that we're missing, and what we need in order to keep up with everybody else, and what we have to become, what we shouldn't do and what we should do, and before you know it, we've grown up, and more of us is not us than really is us, and we've taken that beautiful creature that was living its nature, and we've edged God out, which is what the ego stands for, E-G-O, edging God out. And as we get older, we develop this ego, which essentially tells us that we're not good enough. We'll never be good enough. We're not lovable. That we need this in order to be loved, to be accepted. We need to achieve this status. We need to create this. We need to do that. We need this much money. We need to have a mortgage. We need to have our own, family-style home. We need to be married. We need to have children. We need to have a relation. We need to have all these things that we can reflect upon as references outside of ourselves to make sure that we are good enough inside, rather than looking within and accepting ourselves for who we really are. So it's really simple to find your purpose, to find your passion. You don't need to take a weekend seminar or a workshop or buy a book on it or anything. All you really got to do to find your nature is to do more in your life of what brings you joy. As simple as that is. There's a show on Netflix right now by this lady, Marie Kondo, and she talks about minimalizing your life, and on the show she really teaches about minimalizing physical possessions. And there's a really neat exercise that she does in which she has you take something, like for example a t-shirt. You go through all your possessions in your home, you pull out this t-shirt and you evaluate it, whether you want to get rid of it or not, and you look at it and you say, does this still bring me joy or does it not? And if it's no longer bringing you joy, then it's time to bless and release it. And maybe it did bring you joy at one time in your life. That's okay. Then be grateful for the experience, appreciate it, be thankful for the joy that it did bring you at one time in your life, but it's time to bless and release it, because you don't want all these physical possessions in your life clouding up your life and cluttering your life. And we got to do that in our own life all around at the same time. We've got to take a look at all the activities and the habits we have in our life and evaluate and ask ourselves, does this bring me joy? Does this activity still bring me joy, or does it not? Maybe you did it one time, but at this time in your life, it just not only does it not bring you joy, but it's sucking the joy out of you. And just like you may find like a pile of dirty laundry in the closet that you've had there forever, it does not only not bring you joy, but it's sucking the life out of you, and it's time to bless and release it and let it go. You may find that with certain activities in your life, people in your life, events, different situations in your life, that it's time to bless and release them and let them go. And it doesn't mean that you can't be grateful for the joy that they did bring you in your life, or the situation, or the hobby, or whatever did bring you in your life, or the job, or the career. But it's okay to bless and release things and to let it go. And what you want to do is start, as you try to do less of the things that bring you less joy in your life, try to accumulate more things in your life that bring you joy. Simplify your life, minimalize your life. It doesn't mean you need to have a lot of stuff, and in fact, it's the exact opposite. Get rid of all the junk and the clutter and the hobbies and the activities and the events and the things and all the stuff in your life that isn't bringing you joy, and instead keep it simple with just the few people and things and situations that do bring you the most joy. And that's when you're living your nature, when you're doing things and you're with people and experiences that you're feeling those high vibrations of energy, those high vibrational emotions. It just feels right? That's why I love gardening. It's so simple, but it brings me to tremendous joy. It's not anything I make money from. But it brings me joy. That's why a lot of people say, how is it that, you're able to do jujitsu and, and train for triathlons and do gardening and practice the guitar and harmonica, well, being a single parent and businesses and all these things. Well, all those little hobbies that I have in my life, reading and things like that, these are all things that bring me joy. And at times in my life, I had to evaluate when I realized that I was doing too much stuff that wasn't bringing me enough joy, cluttering too much of my life with activities, business appointments, things and stuff like that. I said, wait a second. I need to fit more things in my life, hobbies and things that bring me joy, that don't bring me any money, that just bring me joy. And that's why I forced myself to sign up for jiu-jitsu. And I forced myself to start learning the guitar and then the harmonica and making time for reading, meditation, and things like that. Things that didn't bring me money, but things that brought me joy. Because in those moments, that's when you're living your nature. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that, finding your purpose. It's not your purpose, your passion isn't a business. It isn't, like I said, it's not, your purpose in life wasn't to open up a restaurant. That's not. Humans, our purpose in our nature is creating, it's expressing, it's learning, it's educating, it's teaching other people, it's expressing our artistic self, parenting, mothering, living, just living our nature, not overcomplicating it. You'll know when you're living your nature, when you're living your purpose, when you feel it, when it feels right. Do more of what brings you joy in your life, what feels right in your intuition, and less of what doesn't. And I know there are, situations in this life, in this world we live in, that you have to do things that don't bring you joy and so forth. But you can still always find time to carve in more of that of which brings you joy. And don't just listen to this video and just be like, hey, that was a cute message, George, very philosophical, I'm going to go back to watching Netflix TV. No, right now, by the time you finish this video, think, what is it right now that you're going to begin to fit into your life that brings you joy, that live in your purpose. And that's something that's not going to be making you money. Maybe it's taking dance class. Go to dance class once a week, a yoga class, or art class, or painting, or jiu-jitsu, or boxing, or sign up for Orange Theory. Something that's not going to make you any money at all. Maybe learning music lessons, or just taking, one day a week off work to spend with your family. Go to the park, turn your cell phone off. Something that'll bring you joy, that deep down inside you would love to do, but you feel like you can't. Because you feel like you might miss out on your purpose. Because, my purpose was to build this company, this business, or something like that. And it's so much simpler than that. We love to make things complicated. We think, in order to leave this mark in our life, I have to be like the Mark Zuckerberg or something. But, it doesn't have to be that complicated, guys. And people can drive themselves insane their whole life, driving themselves mad, trying to chase their quote-unquote destiny and find their purpose and so forth, missing the simplicity of it that was right in front of them all along. So I think just like nature and everything that's all around you that doesn't question, it just exists and it lives and it does. Your dog, it's doing a better job at living its purpose and its passion than most people ever will. Don't make it that complicated. Just do more in your life that brings you joy, the things that bring you those good emotions. And I'm not talking about being lazy and watching TV because that feel good. Doing what brings you joy might also be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Exercise. That's why I'm out here. I'm running at night. This is what brings me joy. This is living. Although it's uncomfortable in a physical sense, it brings me more joy than most everything else in my life, because I feel that I'm living my nature, physically expressing myself, moving my body, getting out there. So Don't just watch this video and say that was cute, this was philosophical. Decide tonight, write out, pull your journal, think about what is it that you're gonna carve into your life. Start it tonight. Take 5 minutes, start reading, meditating, breathing exercise. Go for a run right now. I don't care what time you're watching this. It doesn't matter. Time is a man-made concept anyways. Go do it. Don't put off tomorrow, because tomorrow is never guaranteed. So hope you all having a great day, guys. Tomorrow, let's continue making a great day, great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. See ya.